You know, no matter how much you love this job, some days it just sucks to be on the road. Stay tuned and I'll tell you what I mean. Hey everybody, this is Rick, also known as Duke City Devil Dog. Today is June 11th, 2022. I'm in Barstow, California. Just got here. We're on our way to Stockton, California to deliver at General Mills. We'll make a stop in Bakersfield at my favorite place, Murray Farms, to pick up a pie up there. One of my, they make fresh pies, so love it. Love doing that. But I started this video by saying no matter how much you love this job, some days it just sucks. Now, before I tell you why I'm filming this and what I mean by it, first of all, I want to say for those people who are watching this, especially if you're truck drivers or families of truck drivers, this is not a competition. I understand that people, what I'm going to share with you, people are going to say, oh, that's nothing, or that's not as bad as, you know, I've got young kids and I missed this and I missed that, or I had a parent pass away, or a friend, or whatever that you've had going on. I understand. This is all this general kind of thing, though. I don't want to equate one to the other because there's no equation between them. Because things happen. What this is about is when you're out on the road and something happens at home, and you might be able to be on the phone, but that's about it. And that's the nature of it, okay? So let me tell you, I'm going to tell you a little story. I got a job working for Dick's Sporting Goods when they opened a new store in Albuquerque. I was lucky to get it because it was just right what I love doing, working in golf and everything like that. I had a nice apartment, but I was single, dating somebody on occasion here or there, but not anything, and I used to take a walk during my lunchtime every day around the mall, because we were in a mall, and there was an animal rescue place, not an animal store, not a pet store, but this was run by the Albuquerque animal welfare, and so it was an adoption place, and I'd go in every day and I'd check out all the animals. I've never been a huge animal person because it's just never been something where I said I have to have a pet. But and definitely never ever thought about a cat. But I would walk through there every day, and you'd see these kittens and you'd see these cats, and there was always this one cat, and her name was Katie, and Katie was an older cat. Now, all it said is that she was at least 9 years old, at least. They weren't sure. She had been a cat of a lady who surrendered her because she was moving somewhere and couldn't take her. And Katie was very friendly. People loved to pet her. She was a long-haired, domestic cat. She had been declawed on her front paws, but people loved to pet her and play with her. They'd take her in a little place over there, and they'd play with her, and then they'd go and adopt a kitten, and they'd leave Katie there. Katie was so friendly. At night, what they used to do is they used to let her out of her cage, and she would keep the people company as they were taking care of the different animals that were there. And then they'd put her back in her little place, hoping she'd get adopted. And I kept seeing her over and over again. And one day, for some reason, I said, I need to take this cat home. She needs to have a home, and I could use some company. That was the whole thing. And so that started the thing with Katie and I. And it lasted until we got on the road. about 3 years ago. So, and she taught me, what cats are about: finicky and stubborn, but can also, be there when you need them. Just a little comfort to check in with you and everything like that. And when I decided to come on the road, I knew I couldn't bring her. She just wanted to do well in the truck. My daughter, Rebecca, Becky Joe, was nice enough to take her for me. I had some other people who had shown some interest, and they backed out, and Becky said, you know what, I'm going to take Katie. And so for the last 3 years, she has been with Becky. And Becky got another cat after that, Princess, and Becky's taking great care of them. Well, Katie's had a few health issues, like I said. She was at least 9. If you count the time since I got her to now, it was almost 11 years there. So 20 years old. I mean, that's I know some cats will live to be 30. Very few, but a few will. But 20 years old is pretty old for a cat. And she started having a few health issues here or there. We took care of them somewhat. Of course, she had some issues with the smaller cat, the younger cat, and that kind of stuff. But they got along for the most part. Well, Becky called me today and said Katie's she's not responsive. She's just sitting there. And she said over the last few days she's changed a little bit. She's just not her normal bouncing around self. She went to go get a bath or give her a bath, and usually Katie tries to jump out of the bathtub. She just sat there and let her bathe her and that kind of thing. So when she got home from work today, she called me, and I said, we'll take her to the vet. And took her to the vet, and turns out that Katie had congestive heart failure, and they didn't think that she would get better, and if she did, it wouldn't be for very long, and her quality of life was going to be really poor just because of her age. So we made the decision that a lot of people who have pets have to make, and we had her put to sleep. And the tough part was you don't realize how connected you get to somebody or something until something like this happens. But the tough part was not being able to be there for my daughter over the phone and everything, and she handled it like a trooper, but I wish I would have been able to be there for her. So that's why I said sometimes, no matter how much you love this job, because if you've been watching my videos, you know I love this job. I absolutely love this job. I love everything that I get to do with it. The tough days are usually not so tough, but today is a tough day. And forgive me if I'm tearing up and everything like that. And like I said, you can make comparisons. You can say it was just a cat. But it's more than just the cat kind of thing. I mean, that's part of it. But the other part is being able to be there for your family. Now, that shouldn't discourage you from coming out here, because you can make a good living and you can support your family. But for everything that you gain, sometimes there is a cost. It may not be a big cost, but it's a cost. In this case, it's a pretty big cost. And Becky's doing all right, and Katie's doing better than she was. She's up there bugging with the rest of the animals across what they call the Rainbow Bridge. But anyway, this is the first video like this I've ever done where I've just lost it a little bit here. But you have to understand that this job takes some. There's a reason why some people cannot be over the road. I don't think when my kids were younger I could have done this. I mean, I'm in a different position right now because I'm not married. I don't have a steady girlfriend. My kids are all grown. My youngest just graduated from college. They're all fairly self-sufficient. I mean, I try to help them and be there for them and whatever I can, but they can survive on their own for the most part. But there are some times when you just need to be there. You know, today started out to be a really good day. The last couple of days were really good days. I got a load that was running into Albuquerque. I spent the day before yesterday with, the day before yesterday, Becky and I went to go to dinner because I was in Albuquerque, and I delivered the load yesterday morning, picked it up, and thanks to my team, especially Christy, who helped me out because Sarah was off. She got me a load going up to Stockton so I could go by and see my mom and spend a little bit of time with my mom because I hadn't seen her in a little while. So, you know, it started out, yesterday was a really good day to start, and things happen. But you're going to have those out here. You are. And there's nothing that you're going to be able to do to change it. It's just the nature of the game. And truck drivers aren't the only ones who have to deal with this. You know, I dealt with it when I was in the military. I didn't have a family then either, as far as, you know, wife and kids and stuff. I mean, I had parents. My dad had gotten sick when I was stationed in Okinawa. I came back emergency leave from Okinawa to see him, and luckily, you know, even though he had heart problems and we weren't sure he was going to make it, we had him for another couple decades. So it's just one of those things where you know, the distance sometimes is tough, and it's not just, it's, you know, that can be anywhere. You know, I mean, rarely nowadays do families, you know, stay around each other or live around each other. You know, I have a brother that lives in Idaho. You know, I have a sister that passed away that lived in Los Alamos. You know, but the nature of being an over-the-road truck driver is such that you've got to be away from home at least, almost always at least 3 weeks, sometimes more, if you're going to be successful at it. And like I said, there's a lot of bonuses. You've seen some of the videos I've posted of things I've got to see and do. Those are the bonuses. But then you have to take sometimes the negatives too. So when you're looking at this job, you know, you have to understand that, you know, you can be a truck driver and be close to home. It's not always easy, especially if you're new to the profession, because not everybody wants to hire local drivers that are brand new, because you've got to not only know how to maneuver a truck, but you got to be able to maneuver it in tight spaces. But, you know, if you can't be away from family, if you don't have that support system, or if you don't have that kind of stuff, being an OTR driver is not an easy thing. Well, I mean, it's not an easy thing sometimes. And like I said, today just happens to be one of those days where it sometimes happens. Anyway, we're gonna post some more in the next few days. I've got some questions people ask me. I hate to be a bummer on this one right here, but it's something I just needed to film. We're gonna answer some questions that people ask me about different things, and go from there. But for now, we're gonna get some shut eye. We got to deliver this thing in the morning. We're 360 miles out. We'll get there early afternoon and go from there. So God bless, and thanks for listening to my little rant. And so I appreciate it. This is Rick, also known as Duke City Devil Dog. I'm in Barstow, California, and I'm driving for Crete Carrier Corporation. I'm psyched about driving for Crete Carrier Corporation. So you guys have a great one, and I will talk to you soon.